A $2 million swindle. That's the allegation of wrongdoing by a Warren investment company called Financial Services of America. This case was so disturbing, our Steve Wilson has spent the last several weeks investigating. He broke the story here last night, and Steve, you're back this evening with more.
Yes, right you are, Diana. When you say disturbing, it's a case where some vulnerable senior citizens are said to be being squeezed out of their retirement money at the hands of some very slick and fast-talking salesmen. That is the allegation in the lawsuit that's pending, charges the company completely denies, but how credible are those denials? We recruited volunteers like this woman to let salesmen from Financial Services of America into the house, and this one too. They allowed us to set up hidden cameras and record meetings with those salesmen, like that fellow right there. We wanted to find out to what extent this sweet husband and wife, both 92, could be right in the claims they're making in their lawsuit against the company that mostly serves senior citizens. They allege in the suit that they were swindled out of their nearly $2 million nest egg by Harold McDonald and others at FSA. He's not a licensed salesman, but he counseled the couple to liquidate most of their assets he could find and buy long-term annuities that provided him and FSA with some fat commissions.
They were slick.
And you trusted them?
Yeah.
He says they were never told they'd be left with a $50,000 capital gains tax bill that they'd have to live past 100 to get the full value of all they invested. And even if they do, they can expect an average annual return of only about 3%.
If I could get squeezed, somebody else can too.
Which brings us back to our investigation.
We work for Financial Services of America.
Yeah.
AREA is a separate nonprofit company.
But this nonprofit called AREA, the Adult Retirement Education Association, it operates there in the back of Financial Services of America's headquarters in Warren, where Jeff Tackle once worked.
Technically, it was a boiler room to make appointments.
We participate in delivering the AREA packages. It gives us a chance to meet people we wouldn't otherwise meet.
People like maybe your parents, grandparents, elderly aunts or uncles, if they want these discounts, they'll become marketing targets of FSA salesmen who deliver them. And who knows they're really in the house to nose around and find out just what kind of savings and investments the old folks have got.
Do you have it with a broker or with a bank, or where do you... I don't need to pry, I just...
No, I don't have it with anyone.
You have it in cash?
No.
Do you have it up under your mattress?
Remember the couple suing FSA? They say the agent went through their mail to find evidence of how much they had and where it was. But we made it easier. I just made up investment statements showing our volunteers had lots of money, much of it in stocks.
If you're uncomfortable with the risk that it might go down, then maybe stocks isn't where you need to be at 79.
You got to get out of that. Me or anybody else, you've got to get out of that.
Okay.
That is horrible.
So what is your advice then?
I'm going to put you in insurance.
They're scaring you on the risk.
Huh?
Why have a risk? You're too old to have the risk. Therefore, an annuity is a safer vehicle and you're not going to pay taxes on it.
The first visits we saw were only fishing expeditions for the salesmen before they headed back to FSA headquarters, only to return another day to pressure our eldest seniors into selling their stocks and other investments and putting the money into buying an annuity from an insurance company for which FSA is an agent.
Remember my pie chart?
Yes, you see,
All your money at risk.
I understood that very well.
And all your money's at risk, hon. The market collapses.
Yeah, she's 79 years old, but he's exaggerating how much of her nest egg is really at risk and telling her he has terrible news from a reliable inside source at Ford.
He told me flat out Ford Motor Company is going to go bankrupt.
The portfolio we made up for her includes stock in the big three, and GM and Chrysler should worry her too, he says.
The Wall Street has the odds of them filing bankruptcy at 30%. And this will all become zero if they do.
Then he tells her the investment company that holds her stocks and mutual funds, they're charging her some big service fees, which is not true.
Now, what I put you in, you will not be charged any fees.
No, it isn't. And what he seems ready to do with her money is move it into an annuity. He doesn't mention there are some pretty stiff fees if she wants or suddenly needs most of her money back anytime soon.
Are you a financial planner?
Yeah, that's all I do. Tax.
No, he's not a financial planner. That requires a college degree and a 3-year course. Mr. Harris here has been licensed to sell what he's peddling for less than 2 years. And John Cole, a senior executive manager at FSA, who met with another one of our volunteers.
A certified financial planner, that's a designation I do not have. I am a CSA or certified senior advisor.
No, John, you're not that either. Not for more than a year, even though he still also improperly uses the seal on his business cards. Now, FSA's president, Richard David James, ran away from our scheduled interview the other day, but sent a statement denying any wrongdoing by his agents. And the company expects them to adhere to the highest standards. But this fellow is not merely some commission-hungry young agent. He's Mark Verostek, executive vice president of FSA.
You know, right now, of your invested assets, you have 100% of your money at risk.
100%? Not hardly. The statement in front of him clearly shows she has nearly 15% in cold cash. Another 5% is in a 5-star rated municipal bond fund. And the annuity he's pushing her to buy after he sells all her stocks and mutual funds, he says the company behind it has an excellent A rating.
Is that the most they can get?
A+ is the highest rating. So they give them an excellent rating.
Excellent is good, but surely Verostek knows it's really just the 3rd best rating. Other companies rate superior, A+ and A++. And what happens if she wants or needs half of her money back?
Why would you use that much? Why would you need that much?
I don't know. You know, I mean, you hear about these catastrophic illnesses.
Okay, if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness, you can take the money out as well.
Now, our volunteer is no pushover. She insists on knowing what if she needs back, say, $150,000 of her money in 1 year.
They work just like CDs, where you have a surrender penalty. So if you cash out a portion early, you might have between a 2, 5, 10% penalty.
Again, what he's not telling her, with the annuity, she'd have to be dying to get back most of her money without penalties. And it's not just like a CD. With those, if you want your money back early, you don't stand to lose much, if any, of the principal you invested, just some of the interest you expected. Well, do you sense a pattern here? FSA insists agents are expected to meet the highest standard, but that's not how they're trained. How do we know? We now have their training tapes to prove it. Come back with us right here tonight after the season finale of Alias, and you'll hear it for yourself, how FSA agents are told to make problems for senior citizens. It's a whole nother eyeful of what's really going on here as our investigation continues tonight, only right here on Channel 7 at 11. And as I say, you're going to get another eyeful of what they're doing.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks.